So according to the latest John Hancock video, there's been a new update on the Atari 2600 Plus. We wanted to share this with you guys in case you missed his video, and you really should go and watch it. His stuff is great. Um, on the off chance you don't watch both of us. And apparently now with a new update on the 2600 Plus, most games are compatible now, including a lot of homebrew and third-party games and things like that that apparently were struggling a little bit the first couple go rounds there. With this new third update that's come out for it, most games are compatible. So I think, I there's so much that I like about this system, but one of the things that has had me on the fence is I would love to be able to get it and support the homebrew community. There's so many cool looking Atari 2600 games that have been coming out from these small indie developers. So if this, is a way to open the door to that, that's really cool to me.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that they're continuing to throw energy and resources and address problems on the initial release. So this is the third update. This one is the big one in terms of chasing that compatibility problem down to a very, very small percentage of games at this point. Opening the door for Pitfall 2 for people to play that, which is apparently incredibly important to some people, but I mean, it is a great game. It's a good one, and disappointed that it didn't work initially on the 2600 Plus. But yeah, to really get that compatibility and to kind of open up the homebrew world, I think that's fantastic. They've got, I mean, I guess it's called a 78 hundred controller. I'm not sure, but it's this kind of combination of a D-pad slash joystick and a couple buttons that looks like pretty good quality. Extension cables, which 9-pin extension cables, which I might be purchasing regardless, because that would be a nice solve for my situation because they're only so long, and the way that I've got all my game consoles set up, you're a little bit relegated to one portion of the couch to play the Atari games because I don't know where they went, but I used to have wireless Atari 2600 controllers, which were run with two D cell batteries. So they basically take a brick, cut it in half, and you now have the base. It would not only emulate the size of the base, it would emulate the weight of the base of the remote controller or the wireless controller, and then the standard Atari joystick on top. And it worked great. And they did a really nice job for wireless controller outside of the fact that it was half a brick you were carrying around to do some things. So the extenders, those I'm kind of interested in anyway. So that was pretty cool to see. And then some games coming and improvements on the packaging of the games, I believe. Is that correct, sir?
Yeah, so initially, I think when these were announced and there were some prototypes of them shown, they didn't seem to have manuals with them. And I don't know if that was ever officially 100% confirmed, but it seemed like there wasn't manuals with these. And in fact, now that he had physical copies, they do have manuals with them. So the packaging is actually a little nicer than the original packaging because you have the larger outer box. The games themselves have a slipcase around them, the actual cartridge, and you get the manuals, and all of that's in color, which the originals were not in a lot of these cases. So it's actually a little nicer printing than the originals as well.
Yeah, they keep on keeping on. It's kind of neat to see that. It's always kind of slippery to know what's going on with Atari because you don't really know who owns the IP at the particular moment,
Yeah.
what's going on. But and their current path has been pretty great, I think, in terms of with the highlight still being the 50th edition. Fantastic. We have recommended it multiple times on the show. We'll continue to do so. I've got it on the Switch now as well, which has been super awesome to have it available there as well. But they've done some good things, and they continue to make this 2600 plus um, better and better. And the other part that's really interesting on the new games that they're doing and some of the packaging on that is it'll run on original hardware. So,
Yes. Yeah.
so I'm still good. So maybe I'll buy your controller extensions, but I think I may continue to sit back otherwise because I could play Pitfall too.
Always good.
Always good.
I may very well, regardless of whether or not I ever purchase the 2600 plus, I may very well buy the reissue of Ninja Golf just to have a Ninja Golf fully packaged cartridge of Ninja Golf that I can put up on the shelf in the game room. I love that game. And I do have it a couple of different ways now because I have the fight stick, of course, and I have the Atari collection for Evercade. So I'll be able to play Ninja Golf on my bar top Evercade Alpha if I get that as well. So
That'll be good. Yet another recent episode on the Evercade Barktop, which go back and watch that. And much like the Zapruder film, you'll see the point at which I go back and to the right and go, "Hey, this sounds pretty great." I came in a little skeptical, but Lee Harvey, Dr. Mike, straightened me out. So, but yeah, yeah, I like what they're doing. I like some of the additional accessories and stuff they're doing. Because heck, even maybe the controller that may be because I've got OG joysticks, which at some point you don't know how they're going to go through. Said I still can't find my remote ones, but I have a feeling batteries must have corroded in them or something, and they got tossed. I don't know. It's a
that
disappointment
makes
that I
sense.
can't find
Yeah.
it. But
Well, and the other thing too with all the Atari stuff that's going on is whoever it is that owns Atari currently has also purchased Intellivision.
yeah,
So Intellivision, their properties are now being brought in under the Atari banner, with the exception of the Amico. They're not taking that.
no, because they actually deliver stuff.
Yeah.
So,
This company that's running Atari now puts out products
yeah,
pretty consistently as well.
yeah. So that would so that's not really brand aligned with the Amico.
Yeah,
So
that's not in their wheelhouse, not ever releasing something.
and developing artwork in a box for something that doesn't exist. Yeah, stuff like that. Sorry,
But I,
Amico.
I don't I don't know like what the compatibility is, but I'm curious to see if we get an Atari cartridge with some Intellivision properties on there.
That obviously, and as a platform, 2600 plus is probably that's one that if that does happen, I'm probably not going to be able to smugly go, well, I can play that on my Telegames 2600
Yeah.
because I think if they unlock that potential, there's a little extra something going on that original equipment's not gonna manage well. But who knows? We'll see. So
I'm
exciting
curious to see,
time.
or even something like, we just to mention again, the Atari 50th collection is excellent. If they do something like that for Intellivision, that would be really cool as well.
Yep. I don't know if they'll have quite the kind of crazy rich history that Atari has had, but I still think the approach that was taken with the 50th anniversary Atari one would translate well to it. And also, television have that kind of rich. Hey, here's what we're putting in the arcades for people to play, and the transition to the home console. But I still, uh, they knocked it out of the park with it. So I'm sure for the story to be told on Intellivision, they do a great job. And plus, you get those playable games inside of it as well, which would be super cool and all that.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. I'm still not 100% sold on 2600 plus. I think I am 100% sold on the Evercade Alpha. I'm still not quite on the 2600 plus. And I think it's, to your point of why you're not sold on the 2600 plus is because you can already play these games and you already have the hardware. When it comes to the Evercade Alpha, I already have all the cartridges. So that makes it an even easier proposition for me.
Mhm.
Whereas buying a 2600 plus, I don't have any Atari cartridges other than I will have Ninja Golf probably. I don't have any cartridges. So I'd be starting from scratch there.
And you'll have your birthday song "Be Better" on an Atari cartridge as well.
That's right. Yeah.
As soon as I can get on the movie cart email in time, it's just been think
Now,
three
is there an
times.
emulation option for that yet?
I actually asked, and he's super responsive uh, on his site. You know, when it kind of because I said, "Hey, I'm loving this. Is great. You know, I just want to get the movie cart PCB and stuff so I can kind of make something up." And I go, "Is there any emulation option? Because I've created the executable for it." And he's like, "Sadly, no." so I've got to just, and they go quick when they say, I'm assuming they're doing fairly small batches, and I need to get on my email quicker because, you know, sometimes it'll just be a day late. I'll say, "Oh, it's there," and I'll go to the site, it's out of stock. So so I will now be on my fourth attempt to order it. But when I do, I'll order two. Get one for my that will continue to play on my original Telegame system, and there'll be one that you can put on your shelf or into your Atari 2600 down the road if that's where you, so 2600 plus if that's where you go. So to keep track of if Mike's going to get his 2600 plus, what you need to do is subscribe to the Bog Panda YouTube channel. Hit the bell, and you'll be notified when that momentous day occurs. And when I figure out, yeah, I should have got that alpha from Evercade. So when light bulb's already on, see when I execute on it. So to do that, check out what we've got in the merchandise store as well. Lots of fun T-shirts. Links in the description for that. And be sure and check out Hard No, the world's shortest podcast. 1 minute of fun eventually once we get through the current string of content. It'll be awesome. Maybe by the time this video comes out, you know, we're back to a happy place. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, go listen to Hard No. You'll find out in a hurry.
Bog Panda.